Fluree is a data management company, and we have a suite of products that service the entire data lifecycle. So most data management companies either sit at the top with, analytics or governance, or simply at the bottom as a database for developers. Our suite of products is meant to infiltrate the entire data management spectrum and allow specifically for data to be collaborated around. So our flagship product, and the product that we use Reo.Dev for, is our database solution. That database is just meant to be an elegant, easy to use database for developers. The enterprise side, it can be everything from the chief data officer to the director of data architecture at a large organization. For all intents and purposes, our database solution that we use Reo.Dev for more so touches the developer side. One segment that we've found a lot of success in has been document database developers that are looking for a little bit more firepower behind the query side of things, because we are a JSON-LD database. The director of communications at Fluree. We are post-Series A, but we still have a startup mentality, so I cover many things at Fluree, all under the strategic communications umbrella. That includes PR, marketing, lead gen, those sorts of things. With our existing products, in terms of the enterprise sales, we have a good process in place. But when it came to launching, and we're still in public preview, we're not generally available yet for our cloud database platform. When it came to that and attracting developers, we really had zero process in place, which was the issue. And you can't really go about selling or marketing to developers in the same manner in which you might sort of a chief data officer or any of these sort of like more B2B targets. With the developer crowd, we were pretty lost on how to authentically approach the right folks and not really come off as salesy. So I guess the answer to your question is we had a very limited process, other than being an open source and free to use tool, publishing a lot of fantastic documentation on our site and going to conferences and events. There was really no process in place for outbound, for building up a pipeline, that sort of thing. A lot of reasons. I mean, I mentioned how important it is to authentically communicate to the developer crowd. And so just the space that Reo.Dev sits in is really helpful to us in achieving that goal, because we don't want to reach out to folks that are not interested or not searching for a solution like ours. We want to reach out to people that are searching for a solution like ours. And so Reo.Dev gives us the data that we need. For example, we now know who's looking at our documentation or who's reviewing our GitHub. That's a much easier and frictionless path to building pipeline versus your traditional approach on outbound, which is a little bit more on the mass spammy side, and we don't really want to do that. So Reo.Dev, just where in the market where it sits, is a fantastic solution. Now, why Reo.Dev is a fantastic software within that category I break it out into ease of use. So the user interface is fantastic to use, very clear, which really does save a lot of time. And speaking of time, the second would be how automated you can make it. I mean, having to reach out to potentially hundreds of developers in a manual manner, just the research behind that could take a whole 40-hour work week. So it's really a time saver. And then third, I will have to say the Reo.Dev customer service and customer success team is really fantastic. I mean, I jump on a call with them every week. They don't just answer questions, they also provide a lot of insight into what works when approaching developers. And so those are three reasons why Reo.Dev to me has been a fantastic collaboration. Free technology, and we're in public preview. So our main objective, and this is important when we get to the KPI, is just to drive signups and have people, really enjoy their experience and want to come back. So that's the goal right now. Ultimately, we'll move to a model where people can pay for additional services, but for the cloud account, we just want to drive signups. And then in general engagement, folks signing up for our Discord or asking questions on our GitHub, that sort of thing. So I found a 30% increase in just simply signups month over month from when we started with Reo.Dev. And then in the spirit of an anecdote, I mentioned folks are interacting with us a little bit more. What I'm doing is very simple. I'm seeing who's looking at Fluree on our docs or on our GitHub or whatnot. And I just reach out to them with a personalized note. And many times they come back and they say, this is really cool. I have so many questions. And they ask me a bunch of questions and I'm in marketing, so I can't answer them. And then I connect them with our developer team and they end up having a great conversation. And it's conversations like that that spread word of mouth, which is the most powerful force in marketing. And we've seen results. Since launching our public preview, pre and post Reo.Dev, we're seeing a 30% increase in leads. And then the soft metric behind that is I'm also just seeing a lot more engagement. Because again, we're reaching out to people who are either taking a look at our category or taking a look at our product. And I'm starting up a lot of really nice conversations with folks, whereas the other process would be just reaching out blindly, and we don't really want to do that. One's a very basic one, but just being able to know who is researching our category is very important. And like I said before, everyone thinks that sales and marketing just wants to spam everyone. That's not the case. We want to provide value and we want to reach out to folks that are receptive. It's at the right place, at the right time, the right person. So Reo.Dev's data is some of the best data that I've ever used in my line of work because it's very timely and I can reach out to them directly and immediately and know that I have a higher success rate. I have a higher win rate because this is real live, intent versus just guessing. 10, I'd very much recommend Reo.Dev to other dev tool companies just for the simple fact that they don't want to be wasting their time on cold or dead prospects. They want to be spending their time reaching out to folks that are actively researching their category and would be more receptive to a conversation. I don't know. I'd have to clone myself because I'd be spending 40 hours a week manually prospecting. So life would be interesting. There'd be 2 Kevin Doubledays walking around this earth.